When I look back on my younger years, one of the hardest battles I carried inside me was depression. It wasn't always visible to the people around me, but it was there, heavy and stubborn, and it followed me through different seasons of my life. Over time, I learned to cope, and things did get better, but it never really disappeared. It lingered in the background, sometimes quietly, sometimes showing its ugly face in the moments I least expected. For years, I just thought that was how life was going to be, always carrying this weight in my chest. But something changed along the way. As I began to lose weight, as I started moving more and eating differently, I noticed a shift in my depression that I honestly didn't anticipate. I don't want to say it cured me, because depression isn't something that just vanishes, but it helped in ways that reshaped how I face my days. Just to be clear, I'm not a doctor. This is simply my personal journey. Before all of this, mornings were the worst. Waking up felt like a punishment. I'd set 2, 3 alarms, and even then I'd keep hitting snooze, dragging myself out of bed hours later than I wanted to. My body felt heavy, my mind foggy, and there was no real motivation to start the day. That kind of routine wears you down, not just physically, but emotionally too. It's like you wake up already feeling like you've lost. Now things look different. These days, I find myself waking up naturally, sometimes even before the sun rises, and instead of groaning at the idea of starting the day, my eyes open wide and I feel alert. That shift, going from barely being able to pull myself out of bed to waking up with energy, has been one of the clearest signs of how weight loss has changed my depression. Part of it came from walking. At first, walking was just a way to burn a few extra calories, something simple to get me moving. But as I kept at it, I realized it was becoming therapy. When I'm out on a walk, there's this strange sense of clarity, the rhythm of my steps, the fresh air, and the space to be alone with my thoughts. It's like pressing pause on the chaos in my head. Walking gave me the time to reflect on my life, to think about the things weighing me down, but instead of spiraling deeper, I found myself processing them with a lighter perspective. And then, of course, there's the science behind it. Walking and exercise release endorphins, those chemicals that literally make us feel better. It's not just a mood boost in the moment, it changes how you look at your life while you're in that state. Problems that seemed overwhelming before suddenly feel manageable when you're flooded with that natural dose of positivity. That small shift in chemistry gave me room to make better choices for myself. Diet played a role too. I never really thought about how much food affected not just my body, but also my mood. When I was eating poorly, living off sugar and processed foods, I was always crashing, irritable, or exhausted. And when you're already prone to depression, those highs and lows hit harder. Once I started focusing on whole foods, lean proteins, vegetables, fruits, and cutting back on all the junk, I noticed my mood stabilized. There weren't those extreme ups and downs anymore. I had energy that lasted through the day. I didn't realize it at first, but I was giving my brain the nutrients it needed to function better. Studies show that things like omega-3s, vitamins, and balanced meals can make a real difference in mental health, but I didn't need a study to tell me. I felt it every day in my own skin. And then there's the confidence factor. When I began losing weight, I started to see myself differently. I don't mean just in the mirror, though that mattered too. I started to feel stronger, more capable, more in control. Depression often made me feel powerless, like I was trapped inside myself with no way out. But every time I noticed progress, whether it was a few pounds lost, walking further than I thought I could, or just feeling better in my clothes, it was proof that I could change something, That proof started to spill into other areas of my life. If I could take charge of my body, maybe I could also take charge of the parts of my mind that depression tried to control. That shift gave me hope, and hope is one of the most powerful antidotes to depression. I want to be clear, I still deal with depression. There are days when it shows up, and it reminds me that it hasn't disappeared. But it's different now. It doesn't weigh me down the same way. I have tools, I have routines, I have habits that make the bad days shorter and the good days stronger. And that's really what this journey has taught me. It's not about eliminating depression. It's about managing it, about giving yourself the best chance to live fully despite it. Science backs a lot of what I've felt. Exercise is consistently shown to reduce symptoms of depression. Diet impacts mood and brain function. Sleep patterns are deeply tied to how we feel mentally. And weight loss, while not a cure, often becomes a catalyst for all these improvements. But more than the science, it's the lived experience that convinces me. Feeling it in my bones, seeing it in my mornings, noticing it in my relationships. That's what makes me believe in it. If you're watching this and you're struggling with depression, I want you to know that you're not alone. It's not something you can just flip a switch and get rid of. But small changes can make a huge difference. For me, it started with walking, just a walk, then changing a meal here and there. And slowly, the fog began to lift. Your journey might look different, and that's okay. The important thing is to start somewhere, to give yourself the chance to feel better, even if it's just one step at a time. I'm not a doctor, and this isn't medical advice. This is just my story, my journey, and the ways weight loss has helped me deal with my depression. If any part of this connects with you, I hope you'll take it as encouragement to try something small for yourself. And if you've already experienced something similar, I'd love for you to share your story in the comments, and we're all in this together. And hearing each other's experiences can really help. If this video resonated with you, consider subscribing so we can keep walking through this journey side by side. Remember, even when depression feels overwhelming, the smallest changes can begin to open up a brighter path forward.